I've gotten revenge on my resistance. I've achieved my vengeance on the thing that has been holding me back all week. I started the week off by saying that I'm burned out and that I can't really go on any longer. And to be honest with you, I couldn't, but I did anyway. So I kept calling even when I really felt like I didn't, even when I felt like my organs and my system would shut down if I kept going. I kept going anyway, and big surprise, they didn't shut down, and I'm still here. So here's my experience. So the first part of the week, it was a complete nightmare, and it stayed a nightmare. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they were just three awful, horrible days. They were just horrible. Like I don't think I've ever had more painful 3 days in my life than those 3 days. Like considering that they were back to back, it was just awful. Um, I felt okay in the mornings because my system was just reorganized for like a couple hours anyway until I went back to calling again. I realized, oh crap, I have to do this until about 9 p.m. tonight. It just really took the life out of me, really did, and got up again on Thursday and I did it again as well on Thursday. And the first part of Thursday, it was just a complete despair and misery. It was like I lost my mind, and I was just pushing and pushing, and I didn't really have the will to live. I'm not gonna lie, like 1, 2, 3 o'clock, like it honestly felt like just life was a punishment, and then there was just nothing redeeming at all to it. I was just in nothing but pure pain and despair and misery, and I didn't have much of a will to go on, but I did anyway. Because we work not because of motivation, but because we want to achieve something, and I wanted to achieve what that output would yield me. So, or that input would yield me. I wanted to achieve the output, and I made 120 cold calls yesterday, which was my personal record, and I never thought I would be able to get that far with my what I'd be doing currently. And today I started again. And the thing was with yesterday, I got pretty stressed out at the start of yesterday because I was thinking, flip's sake, I have 2 days of this left. I still have 2 days, two long, hard days. And it doesn't seem long when you're an outsider and 2 days flies by like an actual mosquito for you because, your dopamine receptors are so high that the passage of time is your perception of time is pretty slow, and therefore it feels like it's way faster, and the days just chip by. For me, each day probably feels like about a month or two to you. That's the difference between our perceptions, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm quirky or like I'm special or anything like that, though I probably am, to be fair. I'm just trying to say that these days felt like long hard days, and they were long hard days. And Thursday, at the end of Thursday, when I was beginning to wind down, not necessarily wind down, but I was finishing making the whole calls, I didn't feel like I was in such agony anymore. It felt like my body had just sort of released me a bit from the constraints that had bound me back to my current self, and I sort of transcended myself, and I was able to keep going without too much issue. And at the beginning of the day, today it wasn't too bad because I realized, you know what, this kind of sucks. I still have another day, but you know what, I'm gonna get through it anyway, and I did, and I I got through the hours, and again, not the most pleasant thing, not the most unpleasant either. One thing I notice about myself is that I don't stand up for myself nearly enough, and I I I put a note down on a piece of paper yesterday: never take crap from anyone ever again. And lo and behold, today I took crap from some guy I rang up, and he just said, I asked him, "Hi, it's Michael Keaveney. Uh, to be honest, I have something to sell. Would you be the right person to talk to about that?" And he said, "That is the worst opening sales line I've ever heard, but yeah, go ahead." And I was like, my brain was just thinking, okay, maybe he's joking, maybe he's just making a lighthearted joke about this. He might not be serious about what he's saying because he wants me to keep talking anyway. And so I do anyway with my mental fortitude. I keep going on and I say the pitch perfectly without any sort of issue. And then he says, and what do you mean you do this for HVAC companies? You mean you're looking to get HVAC companies to us? And then he just started being a real awkward scumbag altogether. He just kept saying, and what you're gonna get me HVAC company? He was just trying to make it as interaction as unpleasant as possible, and I just kept explaining it to him like he was a 5-year-old. No, I get you more clients, and I can do this for people providing both services and e-commerce products. And he's like, I don't know what you mean, but I don't want any of that and any people coming to me. I don't get what you mean. And then I just said, look, do you want this or not? Are you looking for more products or not? And he said, well, more business is always something I want, but you just gave me the worst sales pitch I ever heard. I mean, that was really the worst. And then I just said, mate, you said that multiple times. And then they hung up. And that annoyed me. I felt like, I felt afterwards like I should have just said something like, hey mate, sorry, I don't work with scumbags, and hung up. I should have said that or something, but in reality the best thing I should have done is just hang up. Again, my voice keeps cracking and it's so awkward and annoying when it cracks. Like cracks on this video and it cracks whenever I'm beginning to talk to someone and it'll sound like ew or something. I hate that. Don't clip that. So he basically told me, yeah, I had the worst sales pitch he ever heard, which I know is untrue because I've literally spoken to probably 2,000 people so far this summer, and I've basically pitched all of them, and that's the first time I've heard that off someone, except for one guy who said that's the most unreal cold call that's the most unreal thing I've ever heard anyone say. Then he said something like not interested, and he hung up or something. I don't know what he meant by that, but I don't think it was supposed to be kind anyway. The worst part is, if I was in his shoes, I would have said the exact same things to this person who hasn't said anything or antagonized him in any way, trying to keep the interaction flowing as smoothly as possible while he is just in himself a chaotic force and he clearly has no order to his life. Seriously. But the good part of all of this though is that I'm becoming more accustomed to standing up for myself, and a lot of people will, well, not a lot of people, but a few people will just not care and they will try and bully you over and over, and you just gotta put the foot down. You just gotta hang up, or if they're in your presence, then maybe punch them in the face because you're gonna get arrested, but just tell them to F off or something. It's just what you need to do. It's just what you need to do. Like, you need to just be firm. You can't be, just saying, I'd appreciate if you'd stop, because they're going to be like, they're just going to eat you up if you say, I'd appreciate if you stop, because they're not going to stop then, because they know that you're going to comply with social regulations, and therefore they can walk all over you, because people don't actually enforce social regulations, so you might as well not even obey them too much. Like, now obviously there is a limit to this, but you get what I mean. Someone like starts calling you names, you stick up the middle finger and walk away. If they report you, then so be it. You were prompted to do that. If you were prompted to do something, then you bloody well better do it, because now if someone punches you in the face, then I don't know, maybe it's best to punch them back or something, or defend yourself, whatever works the best. So yeah, that's kind of my story on it. I've kind of went into a side tangent about how some scumbag was talking to me, and I just don't associate myself with dirt, to be honest, and I need to become more ruthless. Like, I'm not ruthless whatsoever. I'm a bloody softie. Like, I don't I don't put the foot down at all with people, and it seems kind of like I do when you watch me in these videos, but I just don't. I just always act friendly, and it disgusts me because it's not kindness, it's not being nice, it's just weak. It's bloody weak. Like, I'm gonna look down on my life from heaven, and I'm gonna go, what a weak person I was, not standing up for myself against those little cretins, honestly. You should have just bloody roundhouse kicked them with the jaw or something. That's what I should have done. But again, maybe I'm just talking in angry platitudes. I'm not really angry. I'm just saying that, giving myself a bit of a pep talk. I need to stop taking utter garbage from human beings who are like that. And today I capped it all out. I made 150 cold calls, which is, I never thought I'd achieve. I could have stopped at 5 p.m, but I decided not to. I'm going to go on for another 20 cold calls because I want to match what I did yesterday. And when I got to 120, I said, you know what? I want to have a cumulative amount of 250 between today and yesterday. So I got to 130. When I got to 130, I thought, heck, why not go to 150? It's a cool goal to set for. So I got to 150 and I finished for the day. I booked one meeting out of 150 cold calls, and I booked another as well, but that was somebody I had earlier that I should have done a meeting with beforehand, so it doesn't really count. But I booked one meeting with the 150 cold calls. I made more than that, by the way. I made more than 150 cold calls. Well, more than 150 calls, because in truth, I looked to, reorganize the consultations and all that stuff with other people I had before. So yeah, 150 plus calls today, and I basically never stopped. I basically spent about 80% of my day calling people or on the phone with people. And after I had my calls made, I went straight over to my Gmail inbox and I started sending emails, and I sent another 150 emails. So I outreached to a cumulative total of 300 businesses today. Now some of them are going to overlap, so it's not really 300 businesses, but I've done an outreach method about 150 times, and that's a new record for me, and I don't think I'm going to achieve that for a long time, because I'm not going to be able to make that many cold calls in the next couple of weeks because I have college. And a part of me is relieved about that, and a part of me is disgusted at my own relief because it's a sign of weakness. Oh, you're in pleasure because you don't have to make cold calls. Oh, you little weakling, aren't you? Maybe I'll make you do them 24/7 from now on. Go to Australia at night time or something. No, I'm not going to do that. But you need to be strict with yourself when you see weakness rising within yourself.